Hello, my name is Vanessa. The name of this channel, Gnostic Knowledge. And what I am doing on this channel is reading a book. The name of that book is called Letters and Numbers, written by Zachary K. Hubbard. You can get a copy of Letters and Numbers by visiting Zachary K. Hubbard's YouTube channels, either Gematria Effect News or Gematria Effect Sports. And in the description of each video that he produces, he leaves a link for you to purchase the book. The book costs $5, the best $5 you'll ever spend in your life. The book will come to you via email as a PDF file. He purposefully left the copyright off the book so that you can take it to your local bindery and have it bound into a book if you like. You can upload it to lulu.com and have it printed. They will bind it into a book for you and send it to you. But everyone in the world should have this book, should know the information that's in this book. The information in this book is priceless. Zachary K. Hubbard also wrote a second book. It is called Number Games. And if you visit his blog page called GematriaEffectNews.blogspot.com, the first thing you'll see is the advertising for the book Number Games. And as you scroll down, you will see the information on how to purchase the book. This book is a paperback book and will come to you via mail, and it tells you how to order the book within the United States and abroad. If you become a Patreon on Zachary K. Hubbard's channels, you can have access to both of the books, Letters and Numbers and Number Games, via PDF file by becoming a $1 a month tier member. And but these books, I'm telling you, the information is mind-boggling, mind-blowing, and you need to know this information. Every person should know this information. Also, I encourage you to read Zachary K. Hubbard's blog pages. Read the blogs he writes about on GematriaEffectNews.blogspot.com, and also visit his other blog page. He blogged on that blog page for over 5 years, and the name of it is freetofindtruth.blogspot.com. Simple Truth Television, he does YouTube videos, but he also has a blog page called simpletruth.television.blogspot.com, and you can read his blogs. I believe he has a book coming out in 2021 called the Gematria Murders. There's other people that's putting this knowledge out. Kayla the Code Talker, Zenith of the Alpha. You have Chagozi Truth, Dan Barrett, Gematrinator 85. He does a YouTube channel. Also, the young man named Derek, who does Gematrinator 85, he also created Gematrinator.com, and that is where you would find the Gematrinator calculator. And I mean, this information is just awesome. A lot of people are waking up to this information, but sadly, many more are not. And I'm hoping that by reading this book, that it will reach people, and those people can wake someone up. Because as many people as I've told about this information, given this book to, I bet only 2 people understand it or will take the time to understand it. But man, I can't tell you how important it is to know this information. And if you just take the moment to read this information, to find out what it is, you won't see the world the same anymore. But with that said, I am reading chapter 14 now. I've reached chapter 14, and it is called Crusades, War and World War by the Numbers. And with that said, I am going to begin reading. So here we go. I am going to tell you up front, Truth Seeker, this chapter could be 144,000 pages long. breaking down the dates of well-remembered battles, generals, and war heroes. But rather than do that to you, I'll keep it compact, and we'll move through the history of wars by the numbers efficiently, focusing on start dates and end dates, as well as other related events, because even with just that, what is revealed about the planned theater of war is undeniable. If you've ever heard the saying, the first casualty of war is truth, it will have profoundly more meaning to you by chapter's end. For those of you who enjoy history, please take this knowledge and put it to the test, decoding the events and names overlooked in this chapter. For this study, we'll begin with the Holy Wars, known as the Crusades, which are about recovering the biblical territories from those of the Islamic and pagan faiths by the Catholic Church, who deemed people of those belief systems to be their enemies. You will recall in chapter 1, I mentioned the word crusade. I mentioned the word crusade had reduction gematria of 26, and the invasion of Afghanistan occurred 26 days after September 11th, 2001, not coincidentally. It is patterns such as this that have persisted through all of recorded history, from the Crusades up to the present, and will continue into the future until the New World Order is put to rest, which we must do as a God-given mission. With that said, let us begin with the gematria of the Crusades, in light of the gematria of New World Order and number of the beast, where it is the Vatican who has held the knowledge for centuries to know how to calculate the number. And that would be Revelation 13:18 if you want to read that. That verse. So, the Crusades equates to 174 in reverse ordinal. New World Order equates to 174 in ordinal. Number of the beast equates to 174 ordinal. Number of the beast equates to 1074 in English extended. Wow. So, the Crusades from 1095 CE to 1291 CE. According to the history books, the Crusades lasted from 1095 CE to 1291 CE, what was a span of 197 years, which is the 45th prime number. As we learned, Holy Bible equates to 45 in reduction gematria, as well as in reverse reduction gematria. These were biblical wars. As you should also know by now, both geometry and gematrio share gematria of 45, a crucial number to the study, a study that is in tribute to God, where God is seen as the master geometer, the master mathematician. At the conclusion of the Crusades, what amounted to nearly 2 centuries of fighting, the Knights Templar, established in 1119 CE, set up their headquarters in Jerusalem and returned to the Catholic Church with the knowledge of Kabbalah, which is the same knowledge that has been used to rule over a growing number of people ever since, as the New World Order has continued its spread across the globe, and oftentimes with needless killing and destruction, and all by the code. In light of the military order known as the Knights Templar being established in 1119 and the Crusades lasting 197 years, let us examine relevant gematria of the word army. So, the word army equates to 197 in the Satanic cipher. army equates to 1119 in the squares cipher. Let us now decipher Holy War, the Crusades, World War, War, and Sin to jumpstart our journey of the history of wars by the numbers. As we decode, keep in mind the New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus. Okay, so Holy War equates to 42. Reverse reduction, H counted as 10. Knight, K-N-I-G-H-T, equates to 42. Reduction, K counted as 11. The Crusades equates to 42 in reduction. World War equates to 42 reduction. War equates to 42 in ordinal. Sin equates to 42 in ordinal. Synagogue equates to 42 in reduction. 5, the word 5 equates to 42 in ordinal. Think about the 5-sided pentagon. Remember, the beast rules for 42 months in Revelation, the concluding book of the Bible that is full of war. On a related note, as we'll get to, the United States of America did not join World War I to fight on behalf of the UK and its allies until a propaganda campaign in the U.S. media and in Hollywood began promoting the fact that Germany's leader, Kaiser Wilhelm, W-I-L-H-E-L-M, was the beast himself. Prior to that point, the people of the United States supported Germany, but the persuasive propaganda targeted at the predominantly Christian population of the U.S. had a profound impact. Check out the film put out near the conclusion of the war, pounding home the same lies, titled The Kaiser, the Beast of Berlin, a title which equates to bullshit and which debuted on March 9th, 1918. Don't forget, propaganda equates to 93, and there are 39 books in the Old Testament which Revelation is based upon. Gotcha. 39 books in the Old Testament which Revelation is based upon, and which corresponds with the date of March 9th. 3:9. Also, as a reminder, don't forget the Talmud's Baba Kama 113a. So Baba Kama 113a reads as such: Jews may use lies to circumvent a Gentile. Wow. And the Kaiser, the Beast of Berlin, equates to 113 in reduction cipher. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let us travel back in time to 500 years after the Crusades, to the start of the American Revolution. From the American Revolution, we'll work forward, covering the major wars of the modern era up to the present. Okay, so the Revolutionary War, April 19th, 1775, September 3rd, 1783. So it lasted from April 19th, 1775 to September 3rd, 1783. This was the war that supposedly gave birth to the United States of America as a free and independent nation. Don't forget, both Masonry and Jesuit equate to 84 as we decode the name of the historic event, the Revolutionary War. At the same time, don't overlook that Jerusalem, UK, and America each sum to 32. What is the number of paths in Kabbalah? The code of the Cabal, which was brought back to the Catholic Church at the conclusion of the Crusades by the Knights Templar, and which spread to the Rosicrucian Order and other notable secret societies before eventually being inherited by modern Freemasonry, beginning with the premier Grand Lodge of June 24th, 1717, in London, England. Equally as important, don't overlook that July 4th, 1776 was a date with numerology of 32, what we call Independence Day. So, Revolutionary War equates to 84 in reduction. United States of America equates to 84 in reduction. Appropriately, the war began on April 19th, 1775, what is the 109th day of the year. Not by chance, military sums to 109 in reverse ordinal gematria, and equally as good, American Revolution sums to 109 in reverse reduction. Consider the United States has been at war nearly every year of its existence since its inception, where it has established as a military state in the ongoing agenda of the New World Order. I read that wrong, so let me do that again. Consider the United States has been at war nearly every year of its existence since its inception, where it was established as a military state in the ongoing agenda of the New World Order, which has its sights on a global populace under the control of one unified governmental body. American Revolution equates to 109 reverse reduction. Military equates to 109 in reverse ordinal. I should also mention that the number 109 is the 29th prime number, and the number 29 corresponds with the gematria of Masonic. The date numerology the war began also equates to 115, which corresponds with Masonic. The date numerology the war began also equates to 115, which corresponds with Masonic, Freemasons, and killing in gematria terms, as well as a number we learned about while discussing the assassination of JFK, which factored into the Vietnam War still ahead. Okay. So the date 4/19/1775, you would add 4 plus 19 plus 17 plus 75 equates to 115. Masonic equals 115, reverse ordinal. Freemasons equals 115 in ordinal. Killing equals 115 in reverse ordinal. Masonic equates to 29 in reduction cipher. Jewish equates to 29, in the reduction cipher. If you've never picked up any Jewish means sort of a Jew, which means not really a Jew, which means false Jew. Absolutely. So, if you've never picked up any Jewish history books in the United States, it is something worth looking into. They're all proud to proclaim that there would be no United States of America without the Jewish bankers who financed the Revolutionary War, even though those same bankers financed both sides, as they have done for all wars throughout modern history. As for the year 75, as we learned, New World Order, order out of chaos, and order all have gematria of 75. So does militarism. At the same time, so does history in the reverse ordinal method. Not to be left out, Catholic Church and Roman Catholic also equate to 75. What are the Jewish-controlled entities of Christianity? Remember, it is the Catholic Church that is the heart of the New World Order, which is very much allied with the UK and the United States of America. These are the truly United States. As another reminder, United States of America, Catholic Church, Roman Catholic, and England all share gematria of 132. What is the product of 4 times 33? 433 is the 84th prime. Wow. And which corresponds with the number of rooms in the White House, plus more that we'll get into. On the subject of the New World Order entities, to make an important point, at this day and age, nearly every nation of the world has been sucked into the NWO agenda, New World Order agenda, which has been spearheaded over the past few centuries by the key figures just named, and which you can prove is true by following the news and elections of these other respective nations, examining how the same patterns persist that we are revealing in this book. There is a reason it is called the New World Order. On the subject of Roman Catholic, it has a direct parallel to the word new in English extended, which reminds very much of the 555-foot phallus in Washington, D.C., named after the war general from the Revolutionary War, Washington. Not to be grotesque, but the invisible phallus of the New World Order truly is up all of our behinds, which is why we pay taxes hand over fist, have purposeful poison in our food, and programming that is meant to impact us in harmful ways all around us, from the papers to radio to television, and which has dumbed down the average person to a level that can only be expressed as brain dead retarded. And I totally agree. Brain dead retarded. Okay, Roman Catholic equates to 555 in English extended cipher. The word new equates to 555 in English extended. Think about the Catholics and little boys and phalluses. At the same time, think of the United States and the conditioning of the minds of little boys to be all they can be in the New World Order military. As a New World Order mercenary, it really isn't all that different because it's very wrong and it's sick. If you doubt what I'm saying is true, follow along because there is no need for belief. The facts of what have transpired in this world tell the tale. Back on point of the start date of the war, April 19th, 1775, it supposedly began with 77 Minutemen outnumbered by 700 British troops. Don't forget, United States has gematria of 77, and DC now rests on the 77th meridian west, known as the American Meridian. It was in this moment, with the Minutemen being severely outnumbered, that the shot heard around the world was fired, officially beginning the remembered war. In reduction gematria, the phase sums to 114, matching the ordinal values of history, Minutemen, and even World War. In reverse reduction, when H is counted for 10, the famous title of Shot Heard Around the World sums to 147, a number connecting to the gematria of Freemason, conspiracy, 4th of July, 50 states, war, and more, as we have covered multiple times. It serves as a reminder who is making the history as we go. Think about how easy in those days it would be to contrive it all, and I am sure they did just as they do now. Okay, so I'm going to reread this information. Shot heard around the world equates to 114 in reduction cipher. Shot heard around the world equates to 147 reverse reduction, H counted as 10. Minutemen equates to 114 in ordinal. History equates to 114 in ordinal. Minutemen equate to 42 in reduction. History equates to 42 in reduction. Minutemen equate to 129 reverse ordinal. America equates to 129 Jewish gematria. War equates to 147 satanic. In the septenary cipher, the phrase shot heard around the world also sums to 96, corresponding with the ordinal gematria of Freemason. Boy. As another reminder, Freemason, Jesuit, history, war, and world war all share gematria of 42, same as Saturn, the number having divisors equating to 96. I bring up Saturn because the Revolutionary War would end on September 3rd, 1783, where September 3rd is the most Saturn-oriented date of the calendar year, leaving 119 days left in the year. Recall, in ordinal gematria, Saturn sums to 93. And in Francis Bacon, it sums to 119, just the same as USA equates to 119 with the Francis Bacon method. USA equates to 119 in the Francis Bacon cipher, and Saturn equates to 119 as well in Francis Bacon. In other words, the USA couldn't have won the war on an any more perfect date in time, where Saturn is the keeper of time. If you think even more deeply, consider Saturn has to do with death and judgment, and the United States has deemed itself an authority that is worthy of dictating who in this world is to be punished with death and destruction by the means of war across the globe. On this subject, I should mention that the title, the United States of America, equates to 144 in reverse reduction, similar to how time and killer both sum to 144 in Jewish gematria. Again, there are 1,440 minutes in a day, and as you'll see, this number 144 is no stranger to war. Okay, other words you should know summing to 119 and 144 are fascism, corporation, respectively, because that is exactly what the United States of America has been from the time of the Industrial Revolution onwards. A corporate military state for world domination and control, essentially nothing more than the bicep of the New World Order. If you ask the natives of North America, they would tell you it was even prior to the Industrial Revolution that the United States had become just that. In case you do not know the original definition of fascism, it is when government and industry are merged as one, which they absolutely are and have been in the U.S., in the nation that is ever increasing its funding for private military contractors while building the national debt for the people to pay the tab on, which creates the invisible chains of slavery for us all. Wow, so fascism equates to 119 reverse ordinal. Corporation equates to 144 in ordinal. Back on the subject of the foundational fight to become the nation that is, from the beginning to the end of the Revolutionary War, was 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. The 8 years and 4 months should stand out like a sore thumb in light of United States of America and Revolutionary War. For some gematria rehash, to make sure the knowledge is sticking, I give you the following. Colony equates to 84 in ordinal. States equals 84 in ordinal. United States of America equates to 84 in reduction. US equals 40 in ordinal. United States equals 40 in reduction. Old Testament equals 40 in reduction. And the word 40 equates to 84 in ordinal. And for one last kicker, I present to you the gematria of the legendary Paul Revere, who at age 41, the number representing USA in ordinal, in April of 1775, alerted the colonists of the coming British troops. The one-man machine that he was, which was a foundational piece in the successful war to come for the newly forming nation. So, Paul Revere equates to 147 reverse ordinal. Paul Revere equates to 147 KFW Kabbalah cipher. Paul Revere equates to 57 in reverse reduction. Conspiracy equates to 57 in reverse reduction. Paul Revere equates to 51 in reduction. Conspiracy equates to 51 in reduction. Paul Revere equates to 42 septenary cipher. Freemason equates to 42 in reduction. It would be hard to contrive a more Masonic character name, and it reminds that they didn't build the White House later in history with 147 windows just for the heck of it, or put George Washington in as president at age 57, or give the word federal a gematria of 51, or DC a gematria of 42, or name the 42nd state after Washington either. Next up, we will examine the French Revolution, which followed on the coattails of the American Revolution, and which carried on with a very familiar pattern, reminding that the code is not unique to U.S. history, but is part of the ongoing New World Order agenda. Wow. So, the French Revolution, July 14th, 1789 to November 9th, 1799. Of course, the start date of the French Revolution, July 14th, is written as 14/7, not too far off from 147, or the gematria of the shot heard around the world. Excuse me. Or Paul Revere, and is now a date remembered as Bastille Day, coming 10 days after July 4th, where it is celebrated as France's Independence Day. As for July 4th and July 14th being 10 days apart, recall the phrase 10 days later has gematria of 44, and France sums to 47, both being numbers of time. As we can see more and more clearly, the New World Order is very ritualistic and very time-oriented. As another reminder, Bastille Day, Paris, France, and time all share gematria of 187 as well, the number connecting to the count of chapters in the Torah, and the gematria of the word Elohim in Hebrew. At the same time, Elohim in Hebrew also equates to 47. And in Genesis, where Elohim is used, Jacob, who becomes Israel, dies at age 147 in Genesis 47. That said, let us not forget that 47th also sums to 147, and that's 47th written as words. Okay, or that the nation of Israel was recognized as a nation by the United States in the year 1947, emphasis on 47. Thus, the relationship with these numbers is a tight web that is rooted in Kabbalah and the Holy Bible that is equally as applied to history as observed. Fittingly, France, where it is illegal to speak against Zionism as I write this book, which has a long history with Kabbalah, it emerged in France in the 12th century CE. Yes, okay. Would end the French Revolution on November 9th, the day leaving 52 days left in the year. So, let me reread that. Fittingly, France, where it is illegal to speak against Zionism as I write this book, which has a long history with Kabbalah, would end the French Revolution on November 9th, the day leaving 52 days left in the year. As you recall, Kabbalah, Tree of Life, Etz HaChaim, Gematria, the Cabal, government, and authority each equate to 52. Better than that, so does France. Wow. So France equals 52, reverse reduction, E counted as 22. Excuse me. For the cherry on top, French Revolution sums to 119. Just the same as foundation and Etz HaChaim, and that is spelled ETZ, small h, small a, capital C, HAYIM, Etz HaChaim, corresponding perfectly with November 9th or 11/9, the end date as it can be written. Think about how last chapter we learned the parallels between Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron, who met on Bastille Day of 2017 as the latest ongoing Masonic ritual by the numbers. Donald 119. In the chapter on September 11th, we'll talk about the Frenchmen, the Naudet brothers, who created a well-known documentary. Absolutely. Okay, French Revolution equates to 119. And when you add the date 11/9/99, it equates to it will be 11 plus 9 plus 99 equates to 119. It just goes to show these wars have been nothing more than organized population control, helping build hate and division by the tyrants who rule over many nations and profit from the war by the debt dollars that are loaned to fight each battle. Have you ever considered the parallels between the words profit and prophet, so PROFIT, and PROPHET, or prophecy? It is a very sick game, and again, it is a game we must stop. It has been taking place for centuries and taking place all across the world, from Europe to Asia to Africa to the Americas. To pound home the point of creating history by the numbers and the real reason history repeats itself, notice the numerous ways French Revolution sums to 227. Our number having to do with pi, cycles, and circles. So, French Revolution equates to 227 in reverse ordinal. French Revolution also equates to 227 ALW Kabbalah. French Revolution also equates to 227 KFW Kabbalah. Wow. As for the war ending in the year 99, many historians credit the start of the war to the Bavarian Illuminati, established May 1st, 1776, the 122nd day of the year, because 1776 was a leap year. Recall, The Bavarian Illuminati sums to 221 in ordinal gematria, the reflection of 122, and Freemason and Elohim share gematria of 122. Notice further, May 1st, 1776 was a date with numerology of 99, and the Masonic order was created with 13 powerful families on the same date, connected to banking, government, and military. So the word 13 equates to 99 in ordinal. And the date 5/1/1776, you would add 5 plus 1 plus 17 plus 76 equates to 99. Even more, as we know, the United States of America equates to 99, the nation that began with 13 colonies, and the American Revolution and the French Revolution are seen as interconnected pieces of history. All one really needs to do is follow the red, white, and blue, as well as the history of notable Americans who were spending many days in France during the time of the American Revolution, from Benjamin Franklin to Thomas Jefferson, just to name a couple. As good as both men came across in the history books, one could never be too certain. Absolutely. So now, the War of 1812, June 18th, 1812 to March 23rd, 1815. To cut to the chase, this war lasted exactly 144 weeks on the nose. June 18th, the start date, was the 169th day of the year, which is the product of 13 times 13, and March 23rd, the end date, can be expressed as 23/3, not unlike 233, which is the 13th Fibonacci number. As a reminder, the number 144 is the 12th Fibonacci number, coming right before 233. As I've said a number of times, these Freemasons like to play God over the unknowing masses, and the Fibonacci numbers are of God, but the Freemason days of pretending to be something they aren't are most certainly numbered. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Out of the War of 1812 came the national anthem for the United States, the Star-Spangled Banner, by Francis Scott Key. Let us examine the parallel between War of 1812, written as words, and the title of the anthem in gematria terms. As you'll see, they both sum to 223, the number of the synagogue of Satan, as well as Masonic. Okay. When you use the English extended cipher, the title of the anthem sums to 1069, not too far off from 169, similar to how the war began on the 169th day of the year. It's amazing. Consider further, the original U.S. flag had 13 stripes and 13 stars, where again the product of 13 times 13 is 169. Could it be any more perfect? Alrighty. The Mexican-American War, April 25th, 1846 to February 2nd, 1848. This war would begin on the 115th day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of Masonic, Freemasons, and killing. It would conclude with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which also equates to 115 in the septenary cipher. The start date had numerology of 75, symbolizing order out of chaos, and 93, connecting to Saturn as well as Mexico. So, man, this is crazy. The end date of the war was perfect in light of the fact it set the borders for the United States and Mexico, with the U.S. substantially increasing its territory. February 2nd, the end date was the 33rd day of the year, also corresponding with the gematria of Mexico, as well as Mexican as follows. So, Mexico equates to 33 in reduction. Mexican equates to 33 in reduction as well. My goodness. The name of the war yields some familiar gematria as well. Mexican-American War equates to 113 reverse reduction. Mexican-American War equates to 311 reverse ordinal. United States equates to 113 reverse reduction. E counted as 22. The U.S. Civil War, April 12th, 1861 to May 9th, 1865. I sure hope that a lot of people who look like myself that lives in America or wherever on the planet that knows about this war reads it, or really listen as I read about this information. And when we get to the purposeful race wars in chapter 18, really have your ears on and open. So I'm going to repeat this. U.S. Civil War, April 12th, 1861 to May 9th, 1865. We covered a bit about this war while discussing the numerological death of Abraham Lincoln, a span of 43 days from beginning his second term as U.S. President on March 4th, or 4/3 in 1865. As a reminder, in gematria, Civil War and Charleston equate to 43 in reduction gematria, where the Civil War began in Charleston on April 12th, 1861, the 102nd day of the calendar year. The war to end slavery, as the history books recall it, but really it was more about re-establishing the central bank and turning the entire nation into debt slaves, as has been accomplished. On a related note, later we'll learn about Dylan Stormroof, born on April 3rd, a date that can be written 4/3. The white supremacist who was blamed for the fictional Charleston church shooting of June 17th, 2015. But for now, let us again re-establish the significance of the number 102. And I don't mean to offend with this decode. I only intend to shed knowledge, which will expand on in the race war chapter ahead. The same place we'll learn more about Stormroof. Alrighty. United States of America equates to 102 in reduction. S counted as 10. Slavery equates to 102, reverse ordinal. Nigger equates to 102 in reverse ordinal as well. The racial slur and civil war connect in a second way through the number 119, a number that will grow more and more infamous until we reach the end cover. So, Civil War equates to 119 in reverse ordinal. The word nigger equates to 119 in Frank Baconis. Another interesting point about April 12th is that it leaves 263 days left in the year, which is the 56th prime number. Civil War also has gematria of 56, a number connecting to all-seeing eye, just the same as the number 119. Of course, the number 56 also connects to president, and as we learned, Lincoln died on a fitting date in relation to the war. Civil War equates to 56. In case you have forgotten, Lincoln was shot April 14, 1865, and died early the next morning at 7:22 a.m., April 15th. He was shot 10 days after recording in his journal he had dreamt of being assassinated, which was on April 4th. So that date, 4/15/1865, you add 4 plus 15 plus 18 plus 65, it equates to 102. 4/15/65, you add 4 plus 15 plus 65, it equates to 84. The date the war ended factors in as well in terms of racial terminology. May 9th, 1865. Consider May 9th can be written as 5/9, not unlike 59, connecting to the words Negro, slave, and blues. Negro equates to 59 in the ordinal cipher. Slave equates to 59 in the ordinal cipher. Blues equates to 59 in the ordinal cipher. And also remember, this is the 59th presidential election. Kamala Harris's name equates to 42. Such a big joke, but hey, I'm awake and rocking, so I know. Here we go. Motown Records didn't open its doors until Motown Records didn't open doors in 1959 without a reason. The list of 59s on Black history is a long one, which is in the corresponding chapter still ahead. Of course, May 9th can also be expressed as 95, or 9/5, similar to 95. This is interesting considering the first casualty of war came in Baltimore, having ordinal gematria of 95 on a date of April 19th, the date the Revolutionary War began. Consider the city of Baltimore is a predominantly black city, as it has been after the war until now. If the race war chapter will get to the divisive story of, in the race, I done got too excited, but this stuff just pisses me off. But anyway, I'm going to start over. In the race war chapter, we'll get to the divisive story of Freddie Gray out of Baltimore, where he was injured on April 12th, 2015, and died on April 19th, 2015, just before the storm roof story in Charleston, which were coinciding propaganda with one another. This contrasted well with the Civil War history in light of a clash between graycoats and protesters being the cause of the first deaths of the Civil War in Baltimore on April 19th, 1861. Son of a bees. After the April 12th start of the war, Freddie Gray, graycoats, monumental mocking, and Freddie Gray dies on April 19th. Son of a bees. Man. Baltimore equates to 95 in ordinal. Freddie Gray equates to 102 ordinal. Civil War equates to 102 Jewish ordinal. Man, and this cipher is available at gematrinator.com. As for the date, May 9th, it is the 129th day of the year, corresponding with the gematria of America in Jewish gematria, where this was the war to save the nation. The date numerology of the end of the war also connects perfectly with Civil War. So 5/9/1865, you add 5 plus 9 plus 18 plus 65, you get 97. It equates to 97. Civil War equates to 97 in the ordinal cipher. From the start of the war to the end of the war was a span of 1,489 days, which is the 237th prime number. What makes 237 relevant is the product of 2 times 3 times 7, equating to 42. As we have learned, war, sin, Freemason, and Jesuit all share gematria of 42. As it happens, so does the word slavery, and so does the word nigger. In the race war chapter, we will learn of the long list of 42 that has been stamped on black people throughout the world, right alongside the number 59. It wasn't coincidental that Jackie wore the number 42, or that Jackie in gematria equates to 42 as well. That his name equates to 42 as well, Jackie. Same with February, the lone month, summing to 42. That is known as Black History Month. So, the N word equates to 42 in reduction. Freddie, as in Freddie Gray, his name, Freddie, equates to 42 in reduction. Slavery equates to 42 reverse reduction. February equates to 42 in reduction. From here, we'll advance to the First World War. And for right now, I've been reading for 56 minutes. That's almost an hour. So what I'm going to do is end that video here, but the next video I will contend with World War I on page 279. I hope you enjoy the reading. Hope you'll share the reading. I hope you'll understand what is really going on. And man, it's just amazing to know this stuff. And man, I can't thank Zachary K. Hubbard enough for writing this book, for exposing this information. You guys have a good evening, and I will see you in the next reading, and hope you enjoy the reading. Thank you.